This is all made up. Let me be the first to tell you that every single photographer that you look up to started somewhere with absolutely no idea what they were doing. Nobody stamped their work with approval and said, now you're ready. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, you will learn more from your first photo shoot than any online course, YouTube video, or any mentor could ever teach you. The real lessons come when you're out there on the job trying to stay calm as the weather changes and all the plans go out the window. Stop waiting for permission to start because nobody is going to give it to you. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but I overlooked it for so long when I was first starting my business. You can be the best wedding photographer in the world, but if nobody knows you exist, you're never going to book a single client. You have to put yourself where your dream clients are looking, like Google, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, magazines. Stop thinking that marketing yourself is sleazy. It's not begging for clients, it's just making yourself discoverable to your ideal client. Or just consider it the other way. You're doing your ideal clients a disservice by not allowing them to find you and your work. Really, they might have to settle for some average photographer who they didn't really like because they couldn't find you because you didn't advertise your work. You might be the introverted, kind and caring photographer that they were looking for, but you'll never know because you never put yourself out there to be discovered. It's honestly really simple. If your clients can't see your work, they can't book you. You need to be screaming your name from the rooftops, even if your next door neighbor tells you to be quiet. It's true that the squeaky wheel gets the oil and the loudest voices are always heard. That's just the reality. So show up consistently, get your work in front of your ideal clients and watch them start inquiring with you. I don't know how to say this any other way, but pricing isn't just about covering your costs and making a living. It's about signaling your value to your ideal client. If you price yourself too low, you look inexperienced, even if you've already been doing this for 20 years. And if you price yourself too high, you put yourself into a different category of clients, ones who have different needs. Your prices aren't an indicator of how much experience you've got. Your prices tell your clients what type of experience and quality they can expect. Is there a difference between an economy seat on Spirit Airlines or a business class seat on Emirates? I mean, one is $100 and one is $10,000. Both planes get you from A to B. They both follow the same regulations, but one experience is perceived vastly differently. Now, let's be clear, the service does need to match the price point. Otherwise, you end up with frustrated customers, bad reviews, and a tarnished reputation. But my point is that the service doesn't scale with price. Often the perception of quality is just as important as the quantifiable differences. I mean, the Emirates flight is almost 100 times the price, but is it 100 times better? And in photography, it works the exact same way. Your price positions you against your competition. It helps your clients understand what kind of a professional you are, what kind of experience they can expect, and ultimately whether you're the right fit for them. Pricing isn't just numbers on a page. It's the difference between chasing every single client who runs past versus only attracting clients who want to work with you. So price your work intentionally, communicate the value behind it, and stop being so scared of big numbers. People on the internet love to tell you that gear doesn't matter, but I think it matters a little bit. Yes, it's true, nobody is booking you because you've got the latest mirrorless camera or you can shoot photos at f1.2. They're booking you for your personality and your portfolio. But let's be honest, there is a baseline of gear that you need. You need reliable cameras, good lenses, and backups in case everything goes wrong. And clients need to trust that you can deliver under pressure, in the dark, in the rain, no matter what the day throws at you. You also need to trust in yourself. You don't want to take on a serious client with a 20-year-old camera, no backups, wondering whether it's going to survive the photo shoot. And that's not to even mention that having good gear makes your job a whole lot easier. For example, new mirrorless cameras have amazing autofocus and they're great in low light, which means you're going to nail way more shots than you would have on your old camera. And for better or worse, most clients think that having a blurry background equals nice images. So if you've got a f1.2 or an f1.4 prime lens, that instantly puts you above the competition, whether that's true or not. Look, I'm not a massive gear person, but I wish someone would have told me this when I was first starting my business. I could have leapfrogged the competition and saved myself a whole lot of stress just by investing in good quality gear from the start. Another thing that I really didn't understand when I was first starting is that people often buy your personality, not your work. Now, I may be biased here as a wedding photographer and your niche may not work this way, but I think it does. I don't care if you're a real estate photographer, a sports photographer, a newborn photographer, you can be the most skilled photographer in the world, but if you're awkward, impatient, and hard to work with, then nobody is going to book you. Weddings in particular are emotional and high stress environments, and most couples want someone they can trust and who feels like a friend on their side. Look, it's just a fact that if you're approachable, calm, and funny, you'll instantly put people at ease. And the more more you can just be yourself, the more you'll attract the right clients for you. I bet you can think of a photographer right now who you don't think is very good and you're wondering how they book clients, and I'm willing to bet that it's because they have a strong personality and they're easy to work with. And when I say strong personality, I don't just mean that they're loud and they're extroverted. I mean they have a strong sense of who they are and they've lent fully into that. Sure, that strong personality might turn people away, but it's better to be seen and turn people away than to be invisible. And trust me, when I was first starting, I was invisible. I wish I shared more of my personality online from the start and just believed in myself and who I was. Remember, your personality is what sets you apart, not the brand of camera you use. Let's be real, building a photography business takes time, but you probably look at other people who are out there who are quitting their day jobs and think that you're behind because you haven't done it yet. Trust me, you're not. A second job doesn't mean you're failing. Sometimes it means you're smart and you're practical. It can take the pressure off your photography so you don't have to say yes to every low-paying job out of desperation. The worst place to make decisions from is a place of financial stress. You'll end up cutting costs and not investing in the things that are important, and your business will probably die quicker even though you had more time to work on it. All for what? The ability to say you're a full-time photographer in your Instagram bio? The minute you start doing things only to stroke your own ego is the minute you lose. And I've been there. I remember when I finally quit my job in hospitality. I went home and the next day made an Instagram post about how I was a full-time photographer. Little did anyone know that I was only making about $30,000 a year with my photography at that point. Full-time can mean very different things to different people. Sure, quitting your day job might give you the extra time and energy you need to start focusing on your business, but if you don't have the money to grow your business, that extra time might not be worth anything. Having that extra income, on the other hand, allows you to invest in marketing, in education, new gear, without panicking about upcoming bills and subscriptions. Remember, your growth is measured by how many clients you serve and the sustainability of your business, not by how fast you quit your day job. Please forget the competition mindset. Other photographers are not your enemies. They're your friends, and in some cases, they can be a great referral network. As photographers, we mostly work alone, and I know it can be a super isolating industry. I've been there before. Then mix that in with the fact that we're constantly trying to find new clients, and it puts us in direct competition with our fellow photographers. It's like we've created this industry where the only people who understand what it's like to be in it are our enemies. But it doesn't have to be that way. Once you realize that there are enough clients to go around and your personality is what stands you out, you stop putting these walls up to protect yourself. Here's a fun fact. There were about 120,000 registered marriages in Australia in 2024, and I only need to book 20 of them to keep my business afloat. Once you realize those numbers and start to lean into what makes you different, which is your personality, you start to forget about the competition. If I remember back a few years after I just started my photography business, I was about 1 year in, and I remember I was about to give it up because I had no friends in the industry and no one I could talk to about anything. At that point, I realized that I needed to be that change. Like, no one was reaching out to me, but I wasn't reaching out to anyone else either. So I started to message a few photographers in my area. Now, of course, I got ghosted by some of them, but I got some really nice messages in return, and some of those people are still my friends to this day. Not only that, but now when I get inquiries that I can't do because I'm already booked on that day, I refer them to my friends, and they do the same for me. I can't stress how much playing nice and actually being a good person behind the scenes matters. It almost matters just as much as how you treat your clients. A good reputation within an industry can lead to much more work than any ad campaign ever could. Let's talk boundaries, because saying no isn't a failure. It's a strategy, and a good one at that. Some clients just aren't a good fit. They drain your energy, they demand unreasonable things, and they just don't like your style. Saying yes to them doesn't help you. It just blocks you out from the clients you actually want to be working with. One of the biggest reasons wedding photographers charge so much is that there are only 52 Saturdays in a calendar year, and you can easily cut that in half because most people want to get married in either spring or early autumn, so that's about 25 Saturdays per year. Therefore, every wedding that I book means I have to turn down everybody else for that Saturday in that prime time. If I say yes to the first person who inquires with me 24 months out, then that forces my hand. I have to say no to everybody else who inquires on that Saturday, even if their wedding sounds way better. Believe me, learning to say no protects your energy, your brand, and your sanity, but it's one of the hardest things to learn how to do. You worry about lost money, like what if no one else inquires with me this month? Or lost opportunities because you tell yourself that your instincts are wrong. And the truth often goes the other way. Saying no to clients that you got a bad feeling about often leads directly to saying yes to dream clients. Red flag clients don't turn into dream clients. Accept it, embrace it, and protect your business. I wish someone slapped me across the face when I was first starting my business and said it's not all photo shoots and weddings. Let me just first say that I think that weddings are so much fun. Like, I cannot think of another workplace where you get to get dressed up, go out and hang out with people on the best day of their life and party with them all night. I honestly don't know why some people hate wedding photography so much. It's like the dream job to do. But then you come down off that high horse and you realize that most of the real work is done before or after the wedding day. Like culling through thousands of photos, editing a gallery together, emailing clients and vendors, drawing up contracts, chasing payments, creating social media posts. And this isn't just wedding photography. All industries have these things. I mean, editing photos alone can easily take 3 times as long as the actual photo shoot if you're not careful. And truly, your client experience is built just as much over emails as it is in person. Look, I'm just gonna be real here that if you hate the business side of photography, you probably won't last long. You really have to enjoy or at least accept the admin, the emails, and the constant attention to detail. And if you don't like it, find a way to outsource it early. That's what takes your work from a hobby to a business. This one might sting if you're a creative at heart. Like, you want to be wild and free and you want to be creative and different, right? Here's the problem. Clients want to know what they're getting. If your portfolio jumps from dark and moody to some bright and colorful images and then even throws in some film photography, the client gets confused. Confused clients don't book, or worse, they don't even inquire. A consistent photographic style builds trust. It's part of your brand. And of course, creativity is important. It's how you stay inspired and don't burn out. But if your style is constantly changing, clients don't know what they're buying. And I'm not just talking about editing styles either. I'm talking about styles of photography. Like, what work are you showing? If one day you're sharing some baby photos and the next it's some photos from a corporate construction job you got hired for, and the next day it's some wedding photos from your friend's wedding, how do I know what you do? You want potential clients to immediately get a sense of what it is that you do and the style of your work as soon as they click onto your website or your portfolio. Like, think of a movie director like Christopher Nolan. People flock to watch his movies because they have a good idea of what they're going to go see. I might not know the exact story or every creative decision he's going to make, but I know that it's going to have amazing visuals, really good acting, and a thought-provoking message. Your business and your brand should be the same. Consistency creates confidence, and confidence creates bookings. And that's it. 10 things that I wish I knew when I started my photography business. I actually had a few more that didn't make the cut for this list, so I'll leave them in the comments down below. And if you've got any more suggestions, throw them down there as well and we can continue the conversation. Just remember, there is no perfect way to start. There are no rules in this business and nobody is going to give you permission. You just have to take the first leap.